Your life as a Jaeger pilot, Pacific Rim. Let's watch it. From my understanding, Pacific Rim is giant, big death metal robots, so I could see how it would be dangerous and wrong and tough as that life.
You are a pilot of a giant robot called a Jaeger. When it moves, there are tens of thousands of—
Wait, did Attack on Titan steal the idea of Jaeger pilots, Eren Jaeger? Then he becomes a giant own Jaeger, which is himself the giant beast? Nah, they need to sue for copyright infringement. They stole Pacific Rim's whole flow.
tons of steel and composite materials under you. Control doesn't run through levers. It runs through a neural link. The system
Yo, it runs through a Neuralink. Elon Musk is making Neuralinks. Does that mean in the next 5 to 10 years, we're going to have our own giant death metal robots? Bro, we're going to be able to fight. We're going to be able to do real steel in real life, Pacific Rim in real life, Transformers in real life. If somehow Elon Musk invented Pacific Rim in real life, would y'all get into one of these robots and like battle it out? Like do competitions and tournaments or no?
reads electrical activity from the cortex, vestibular signals, and transfers them into actuator commands. Every movement you make, it repeats. Every mistake, it mirrors. A Jaeger can't be operated by one person. The human brain can't handle the full data flow from sensors and the motor control load. That's why there are two pilots. One handles the right hemisphere of control, the other the left. The drift
This would be extremely hard. Has anybody ever tried doing that challenge where one person has one side of the control and then the other person has the other side of the control? You know how hard that is? Bro, doing something yourself is already hard with your own brain. Now putting somebody else into that mix and relying on them to know what you're about to do, to copy your movements, to copy your whole flow, to make sure y'all don't fail and die, that's impossible. It's like that challenge where people do where they race each other in teams of two. You tie your ankles and then you walk back and forth. And most people like trip the first couple times, but then you finally get that right alignment. That's probably what you have to do. You have to get your brains in sync. And I wonder if the Neuralink helps with that.
link synchronizes both consciousnesses, merging their motor impulses
This is not pre-watched. I just guessed that. Oh my gosh, I'm talented.
and memories into a single control profile. Average latency between pilots is 0.2 seconds. If it rises, command signals desynchronize and the machine begins to lose coordination. Each Jaeger is an extreme cost platform. Construction, weapons integration, training infrastructure, and logistics raise the full program cost per unit to roughly 100 billion US dollars.
100 billion? Where is that money coming from? This sounds like the US government spending trillions on the military and we don't even know where it goes. We get one fighter jet every 5 years.
That figure includes reactor assembly, high-density alloys, neural link fabrication, test runs, and ocean transport systems. For reference, one SpaceX Starship costs about 200 million US dollars to build and launch, while the entire Starlink constellation of 5,000 plus satellites has a total deployment cost near 10 billion US dollars.
What I want to know is who's building these Pacific Rim robots, because I didn't watch the movie, and how are they profitable? That's like an entire country's GDP right there. Who's buying them?
At $100 billion per Jaeger, the same budget could fund around 500 Starships or the entire Starlink network times 10. Gypsy Danger, USA, height about 260 feet tall, mass 25,000.
You know what's also crazy? $100 billion wouldn't even make a dent into the US debt, bro. Like, that's so crazy. We're like, what, $30 trillion in debt? To who? Why? Why does the government suck, bro? Is a country going to collapse? Like, what does this even mean? I really do need to do more research into that, but it's insane how $100 billion sounds like such an exorbitant amount of wealth. But then you look at the US national debt and we're just in the water. We're in the Mariana Trench.
75 tons. 2 pilots. The reactor provides long-term autonomy but generates excess heat. Cockpit temperature under load reaches 120 degrees Fahrenheit. Top speed on land, 25 miles per hour. Stable in water up to 250 feet tall deep. If one pilot disconnects or blacks out, the system switches to emergency mode with limited mobility. An older Mark III analog model, immune to EMP, requires constant thermal management and precise movement synchronization. After more than 3 minutes of continuous combat, the system automatically lowers output to prevent overheating. Stryker Eureka,
$100 billion and you can't fix the issue of overheating? They spent $100 billion on this mega suit and they can't fix the issue of overheating?
Australia. Height about 250 feet tall, mass 19,071 tons. 2 pilots. Maximum ground speed 30 to 35 miles per hour. Command response is nearly instant. Power consumption is high. Cooling capacity limited. Designed for short attack bursts and quick retreats. On uneven terrain requires continuous step correction. At speed,
Bro, even the American robot is overweight. Look at the Australian one. It's skinny, it's agile, and then the American one is obese. Like, they really want to hate on us.
speeds above 30 miles per hour, leg stress rises sharply. After every mission, locking clamps and hydraulic lines must be checked. During heavy rain or strong wind, speed should be reduced by 20% to maintain stability. Crimson Typhoon, China. Height about
Of course, China has the coolest one. They have a bug-looking bipedal animal, whatever this is.
250 feet tall. Mass 19,937 tons. 3 pilots. Triple arm configuration increases maneuverability, but requires perfect synchronization. If one pilot is lost, the third arm switches to semi-automatic control.
Bro, that's one thing I hate about China. They're always like trying to one-up everybody. Like, for example, do y'all know Rubik's Cubes, the like world records? Some Americans had it at one point. Some like British or Australian dudes had it at some point. Then China comes out with like 13 8-year-olds and they're all solving it in under 5 seconds. China comes out with a whole team of like, it's always those Asian countries that just dominate everything. So whatever you think you're good at, just know that there's a little Chinese kid or a little Korean kid or a little Japanese kid that's 10 times better than you at that skill and 10 years younger. We're not getting replaced by AI. We're getting replaced by all the smart Chinese kids. And that's not racist or stereotypical. Don't come at me. If you do, well, I'm not going to do anything about it.
Average speed 20 to 22 miles per hour. Optimized for close quarters combat and rapid strikes. If one arm or one pilot fails, efficiency drops by up to 40%. The 3-pilot drift link demands strict control. Emotional spikes from one pilot can disrupt all others. Cherno Alpha, Russia. Height about 280 feet tall. Mass 41,000 tons. 2 pilots. Oldest active model. Slow speed 12 to 15 miles per hour. But armor can withstand direct hits from Category 4 Kaiju. Highly stable, capable of 25-degree tilt without loss of balance. Designed for frontline containment and heavy impact combat. Main tactic, absorb impact with the body. Holding a static stance for over 40 seconds overheats knee joints. Retreat required. Arm weapons are designed for short engagements, no more than 10 strikes per sequence. Coyote Tango, Japan.
Yo, this one is sick. Japan is doing it right. They know what's going on.
Height about 280 feet tall. Mass 28,700 tons. 2 pilots. An artillery platform equipped with twin spinal-mounted cannons. Average movement speed 14 to 16 miles per hour. Requires solid ground and short firing bursts. After 3 consecutive shots, barrel pressure exceeds safety limits. Reload time 15 to 20 seconds. On soft terrain, the frame sinks about 1 foot, shifting the firing angle. Urban deployment requires pre-calculated positioning. Tacit Ronin, Japan. Height about 200.
Like, where is Japan getting all this money from? You got workers sleeping on the streets from alcoholism, from being overworked 80 hours a week. Instead of putting your money into big robots, I know this is a movie, go put it into your Japanese workers that are struggling on their day-to-day life.
144 feet tall, mass 14,200 tons. 2 pilots. Light, agile melee model, speed 22 to 24 miles per hour. Thin armor, designed for evasion, not blocking. Operates in short, fast strike sequences. Arm joints overheat after 1 minute of continuous fighting. After every engagement, cooling and blade inspection are mandatory. Weak in frontal collisions, especially against heavier opponents. Horizon Brave, China. Height about 238 feet tall. Mass 18,500 tons. 2 pilots. Balanced early generation model for defensive missions. Speed 16 to 18 miles per hour. Low center of gravity makes it resistant to wind and waves. Used primarily as a defensive unit.
Okay, I'm waiting to see who has the nuke, who has the mother of all bombs, who has that one robot that will just explode the world if they even put it out there and put it active. Because there's always a country that gets too, extreme and try to put something out to show that they got power. It's usually America, but other countries be doing it too.
Performs well in close range encounters, but vulnerable to top-down attacks. Requires support from
Bro, imagine we had like a tournament, a worldwide global tournament where each country built the best robot they could and they all fought to the death. And then like whoever wins takes over the world. I deadass don't think America would win. I want to think America would win, but I'm not sure. Unless we imported a bunch of smarter people to build their robot for us, then I'm not sure if we would be able to win that. I'm taking like China and give me India, bro. Give me India. I got to give them some love. I got India winning. They got a lot of people.
Master Jaegers for aerial threats. All digital control models lose function after strong EMP exposure. Analog systems like Gypsy Danger remain operational. After an EMP, system reboot must occur within 20 seconds before automatic circuit lockdown. Kaiju blood is toxic and corrosive. Corrosion starts 5 minutes after exposure. Post-mission, the frame must undergo full decontamination with neutralizing agents. Ignoring the process leads to joint failure within 1 shift. Optimal combat depth, up to 250 feet tall. Deeper pressure affects hydraulic lines. Waves higher than 15 feet tall reduce stability. Cherno and Coyote perform best due to higher mass and center balance. A 30-foot tall fall generates 12 to 15 grams of impact force in the cockpit. Loss of consciousness possible after 2 to 3 seconds.
You would for sure die from that, bro. I don't care what's protecting you in there. If you fall from that high in a giant metal suit, boom, your body's exploding.
Breathing technique mitigates the effect. After landing, automatic dampers absorb residual motion. Melee weapons activate only after target lock. Incorrect attack angle reduces efficiency and causes recoil. Gypsy and Tacet have the most precise stabilization systems. Cherno is not designed for bladed weapons. After each battle, actuator and joint seals must be inspected and replaced if needed. Full service cycle, 8 to 12 hours. Skipping maintenance leads to step imbalance and joint failure within a few missions. Lighters operate normally in rain, but wet concrete reduces traction.
So basically the entire world economy is dependent on these Pacific Rim giant robots to stop and kill these kaiju, and everybody has to put all their money and resources into this. So what about the countries that can't afford to build these robots? Are they just teamed up with other countries and like, hey, please save me, Japan? Like Philippines. Are they struggling?
Stryker loses about 20% of ground speed. Cherno is barely affected. Wind above 50 miles per hour lowers strike accuracy by a third. Movement is prohibited during thunderstorms. Lightning targets sensor arrays. Below -10 degrees Fahrenheit, coolant viscosity increases and pressure drops. On ice, foot slippage occurs even after a 1-foot tall step. Cherno and Horizon remain most stable due to weight and frame width.
I've always thought this, but like when you really think about it, for the entire world to come together and do something, it's damn near like impossible in our current day and age. There has to be like some extraterrestrial, out-of-world, random event like these kaiju trying to take over the world that would band us together, right? So what would be events that would also make like the world come together for one like event and possibly lead to one world government? People would be saying that's like the wave or something, but I don't think that would ever work. I think if aliens came to Earth, we would all have to band together and exterminate the aliens. We'd probably lose. We probably would lose, but I said we would all come together. Cause bro, people just hate each other for some reason. Like it makes no sense to me. Like why do you hate another human that bad? Like why don't y'all just work together? You realize life would just be so much better, but nah, Kim Jong-un wants to go over there and starve his people and put them in camps for brushing their teeth wrong. Like you're weird, bro.
Signal delay between brain and actuators, 30 to 40 milliseconds. Uncontrolled thoughts create micro movements. Pilots are trained to think briefly and without emotion. Any mental distraction directly affects control precision. Ejection requires at least 150 feet tall of vertical clearance. In cities or during storms, it's rarely possible. If the Jaeger falls on its side, the capsule locks. Pilots switch to defensive standby mode. Limb destruction is automatically detected. Average repair time, 40 hours per damaged limb. Armor cracks acceptable up to 0.5 inch. Joint deformation over 2 millimeters requires full replacement. If one pilot loses consciousness, the other feels drift desync in 0.3 seconds. Emergency mode maintains motion for up to 40 seconds. Then the system halts to prevent neural damage. Continuing combat alone is impossible. After 1 hour of active operation, concentration decreases. Average heart rate, 150 beats per minute. Dehydration occurs rapidly. The cooling suit compensates partially. After every shift, pilots undergo medical evaluation. The working, operational mass of a Jaeger is routinely several times higher than its catalog figure once you account for structural reinforcements, internal systems, and fuel consumables. In practice, a cockpit input error or a millisecond of control lag scales up. A tiny misalignment in the link can redirect thousands of tons of force. Operational mass can be on the order of 2 to 10 times the nominal number, depending on fit out and payload. For a pilot, that means any
So you'd definitely just die.
desync or delay isn't theoretical. It multiplies into real massive loads the actuators must correct instantly. The con pod is the real vulnerability in a Jaeger. The crew access hatch sits inside the torso and the access tunnels lead straight to the neural link mount. If that section is hit, it doesn't just endanger the pilots, it risks a full shutdown because the neural link hardware, escape hatches, and primary sensor arrays are co-located. Your safe area inside the machine is the con pod itself. A compact, exposed compartment, not the broad bulk of the hull. Damage to that small zone compromises the entire control chain. A Jaeger pilot works under constant heat and G-forces. One wrong command can cost millions of dollars and hundreds of lives. A Jaeger moves only while the pilots stay connected. Without them, it's just metal.
One headshot and you're dead. That's crazy. That's crazy, crazy, crazy. That was the video. If you enjoyed it, like, comment, subscribe, let me know what you want me to watch, and bye. Have a great day.